Ian Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. So I got the official all clear from my wife to go down to Peru and do some ayahuasca. I think I'm going to do it. It's a fucking mission, but it could be the last opportunity I ever get to take ayahuasca in the fucking Amazon. So I'm leaving my wife in Mexico City. I think it's around about the 5th of January. And she's flying back to New York, and then she's going to fly back to India. And then she'll be back in Sydney on the 20th of January. So I leave her in Mexico City, and I've got 2 weeks. 2 weeks by myself to get things done. The original plan was to go back into the US and fucking just hire a car and travel around, and I still will probably do that. But there will be a quick detour down to fucking Peru, Iquitos. It's only $300 from Mexico City to Iquitos in Peru. And that's where you do the ayahuasca. The only thing is, it's such a traumatic fucking experience. It's not like something you can just bounce back from. I did when I was younger. I bounced right out of the fucking ayahuasca ceremony straight into a bar and straight into a toilet railing lines of fucking coke. I didn't even give myself like 6 hours to process anything. It was one of the most profound experiences of my entire life, and I didn't even give it time to settle in before I was back at it. That's the kind of fucking soldier I was. It fundamentally changed me as a human being. I could feel it. After the hour of vomiting and the hour of crying, when I woke up the next morning, it was like, I don't know, a fucking mental weight had been lifted from my shoulders. Whatever I was carrying with me had been taken away. I was fundamentally changed, but I fucking forced myself to party that night. Just fucking sheer force of will. I didn't want to. I didn't have to. There was no reason to. But something within me said, just do it. And when I got to the bar, I was with my mate Jake. We'd been drinking at this bar every night for like fucking 3 weeks. The bartender, as soon as we got there, had a bag of Coke, and he's like, do you want some in the toilet? And I was like, yeah, all right, fucking whatever. Yeah. And that's how that went down. But now I don't have that sort of fucking energy. I won't be railing coke in a fucking toilet the day after I do fucking ayahuasca this time. I'll probably take a notebook, write down my emotions, but it's still a fucking mission. I gotta fucking get to Peru, get to Iquitos, fucking organize a shaman, go through all that process, and then fucking, depending on what kind of ceremony it is, most of the time you're fucking dancing. You're standing there having a fucking dance while you're tripping fucking balls, and some guy with a fucking feather is fucking wisping it around your fucking forehead. I was speaking to a friend of mine, and her husband, he's an old soldier. He did some crazy shit back in the day and has had PTSD for fucking like 20 years now. Hardcore PTSD. His meds don't work. He's a fucking nice guy as well. A top fucking dude, just may have done too many horrific things while he was in the army, and he was young. He was fucking 19 or something when he was on tour. So he's been fucking battling hardcore for ages, and he went off his meds and he was going fucking nuts. And apparently last year he went to Peru to do ayahuasca. And he has never done any fucking hallucinogenics or anything like that. I remember when I first met him, he fucking hated me because me and his wife's brother and a couple other dudes had all like quadruple dumped MDMA and were fucking lying on the floor of the apartment we're at, just gurning and fucking drooling. It was a sight to behold. So he fucking wasn't a big fan of me at the start, but he's a good dude. Anyway, he went there and he said it was the most fucked up traumatic thing he's ever been through, which is saying a lot. He was meant to do a few a few sessions, but he could only get through 2, I think it was, maybe even 1. And then he just fucking bailed. He said it was too cookie. It cooked him too much. He didn't know what the fuck was going on. There's fucking spirits flying around. It is hard to process, to be honest with you. So he did a couple and then fucked off, just left Peru and went back to Australia. And apparently now, months and months later, because I said to her, I'm like, it takes a little while for you to integrate it. She's like, yeah, there was no fucking improvement at all at the start, but now we're starting to see some shit. I'm like, yeah, that's what happens. Yeah, there's a little lag effect. So if Mother Ayahuasca is fucking working its magic on him, then fucking it can smooth out whatever my problems are. My problems are nothing compared to his. Like, I'm a little bit lazy or something. He can't sleep because he sees dead bodies in his dreams. Flashes of murder and death. I'm like, I would like to be a little bit more productive than I am. Please help me, ayahuasca. Anyway, so that's on the cards. I don't know, I'm not 100% in myself. I can just imagine myself just fucking with a backpack, just going from Mexico into Peru, reaching a keto and just going, oh my God, do I really fucking want to be doing this? Am I in for this fucking horrific nightmare? Yes, I am. I'm in. Let's do it. I've got my dancing shoes on. Anyway, it's Wednesday. I didn't do a Boyle Breaks history last week, so fucking people have forgotten that it's Boyle Breaks history day today, Wednesday. So let's just fucking get to this week's Boyle Breaks history. So it just so happens that today, August 15, 52 years ago, in 1971, 15th of August, 1971, the world changed forever. On this day, 52 years ago, Richard Nixon took the US off the gold standard. What does this mean? It means for the first time, basically in human history, you had a money that was backed by zero, nothing. The paper became the money officially. Previously, the paper was a receipt to receive gold if you wanted to hand in the receipts. That's what the paper money was. Just a receipt so you can get your gold. The real money, the hard money. And Richard Nixon said, that's enough of that in 1971. Well, that's technically true, but the population of the US went off the gold standard long before that. Long before that. It was around fucking World War One. Then I forget which president confiscated the gold in the US. I think it was Roosevelt. But you had to fucking hand your gold into the government. It was illegal to hold gold, which is fucking crazy. So by 1971, the population was not on the gold standard. They were using the fake money. But between countries, the trade was still gold-backed money. The countries could still take their US dollars and go, can you give me $1 billion worth of gold from Fort Knox? I want to take it home. So fucking what happened in the lead up to Richard Nixon taking the US off the gold standard, and once the US was off it, everyone's off it. No one was really even on it anyway. But in the lead up to this, the Vietnam War was fully fucking raging, and the US were printing money like crazy to fund this fucking war. And the French were like, hey, what the fuck is going on with all this fucking money printing? I want my gold back before these dollars become fucking worthless. So the French got a whole bunch of the fucking dollars, went to Richard Nixon and said, I want the gold. And because they had the deal, Nixon had to give them their gold. And then Germany caught on. They're like, hold on a second, I want some gold. And they went to the US and said, hey, we want some gold. Here's like fucking $1 billion worth of your shitty paper money. give me some gold. And then Richard Nixon was like, nah, there's no gold. We're stopping that now. We're over it. Because each dollar was meant to be worth a certain amount of gold. But if you're printing and printing and printing and printing money, what happens is there's more notes than there is gold. So if you collect all the notes and go, hey, I want fucking gold for these notes, you clear out fucking Fort Knox of all its gold, and there's still trillions of dollars worth of fucking notes laying around. And cunts are like, hey, can I get some gold? And you're like, there's no gold. So because they printed so much, Richard Nixon had to take them off the gold standard. And it was only temporary. It was a temporary move from the gold standard. As soon as we get it under control, we're going straight back to the gold standard. So that was 52 years ago. And we're still waiting. Still waiting to go back on the gold standard. So the money now is just pure paper money. It has no backing. It's just, hey, here's the paper. This has value now. We can print it as much as we want. We can devalue your money by printing it. That was the thing with gold. You can't inflate gold because it's hard to mine and it's hard to get. That's why on the gold standard, economies are more stable. Because when you want to do fucking dumb shit, like go to fucking war, you haven't just got a money printer to let you fucking do it. So the experiment is 52 years old, and it looks like it's coming to a fucking end this decade. The paper money, the worthless fucking monopoly money game is over. Anyway, that's it for fucking Boyle Breaks history. Nixon taking us off the gold standard. That was a big one. Anyway, that'll fucking do it for today. If you're enjoying the podcast, give it a share around, and I'll see you the fuck later.